Tomorrow at noon, the world's largest annual celebration of Edgar Allan Poe's birthday will kick off at the Poe Museum here in Richmond and continue until midnight. The museum's executive director, Jamie Fawcett, and museum curator, Chris Sempner, are here with why you need to plan to spend part of your Saturday with them. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
You know, Jamie, you should be a little bit more excited about this.
Oh, so
she's just bubbling
our
here.
Our 12-hour birthday party. You know, it's not every day you turn 209.
That is true.
And so we thought, you know, let's celebrate in style. So our annual Poe Birthday Bash here in Richmond at the Poe Museum. It's going to have live music, readings, walking tours. Oh, goodness. Poetry contest award, exhibits. Did I mention cake?
Cake throughout the day. I was reading that, you know, if you come at certain times, you get cake.
It is a highly well-attended event. So we always run out of cake. And we realized this time we need to make sure there's more.
More cake. Well, let's talk, Chris, about Edgar Allan Poe and his connection to Richmond, because as we were discussing during the commercial break, Baltimore tries to claim him, but he really spent most of his life here in Richmond.
Yeah. Lots of places try to claim Poe, but Richmond is the place that Poe claimed. He called himself a Virginian and a Richmonder. He grew up right here in Richmond. He got his first job here, was married here, and at the end he was planning on coming back and happened to die in Baltimore on his way back to Richmond.
Therefore they claim him, because that's where he landed.
This is where he found his inspiration. And the city continues to inspire artists and writers today, and that's what the Poe Museum's all about, is that legacy of inspiration that Poe started.
So was he here when he wrote, like, The Raven and Telltale Heart and things like that?
Now, he was in Philadelphia and New York when he wrote those, but here he wrote his only play, his only novel, his earliest poetry. This is where he first fell in love, so as a teenager he wrote a lot of poetry about being heartbroken. He got his start here in Richmond writing poetry to girls in his sister's school. Of course, they found it was all the same poem over and over again, but...
That's what boys do.
That's right.
That's okay. So you brought a little friend here, and I want to talk about this because that's a golden Edgar Allan Poe, and not only that, he's a bobblehead, which is so cute. But there is a meaning behind that.
Absolutely. So one thing that we love at the Poe Museum is that Poe is inspiring today. He wrote about every human relationship, condition, experience. We, of course, think of him for horror, but poetry, as Chris just said, a play. I mean,
science fiction.
Science fiction, curiosity. He knew how to tap what we feel and what we experience and put it into words that are still with us. And we work with James River Writers, which is another local nonprofit here in Richmond. And what we do, this is our 3rd annual Flash Fiction Poetry Contest. And our goal is to keep Poe alive through writers today. Flash fiction is, in this case, 250 words or under.
Oh.
And it has to be Poe inspired. And so it's a juried contest, and we present this coveted Golden Eddie bobblehead at our birthday bash every year. Which
is tomorrow, which is going to be absolutely great. For anyone who has not, Chris, been to the Poe Museum, kind of describe what it's all about. It's not where Poe lived.
No, this is the world's largest collection of Poe's stuff. Everything from the socks on his feet to the hair on his head. It's a step back in time.
We do.
This is back into Poe's world. We have an enchanted garden based on his poetry. It's like stepping into one of Poe's love poems. But we also have his clothing. We're the only place that any of his clothing. We have change in exhibits. We have one opening tomorrow about the unsolved mysteries of Poe's life. You could be the one to solve some of the mysteries, like what happened to Poe's father, how Poe died.
The mysteries that could be solved. I like
and that's
that.
the thing.
You could do it.
You know,
I don't know if I could do it, but somebody could.
So much time talking about Poe, researching Poe, and we think there can't be anything new out there. But of course there is. There's so much more to see and do, and it's anybody who has an interest.
And it is such an important part of Richmond's history as well.
It absolutely is.
We're housed, one of our buildings is the oldest house still standing the original city limits. But also the museum itself is a part of history because it's the first literary museum in Virginia. It's the first museum that somebody said, hey, let's make a museum for a writer. And it's still there today, 96 years later.
That's it.
It's amazing. So for the event tomorrow, it's a long day. So people can come and stay from noon to midnight if they want to.
It's a come-and-go ticket. It's $8 admission, and members are free. We highly recommend that you join, but it's a come-and-go ticket. That way you can go and celebrate Poe through a various walking tour, go grab a bite to eat at one of their local restaurants in Shockoe Bottom, grab a cup of coffee, come back, see a book talk that you're really interested in, and it's very relaxing.
Well, it's going to be a fabulous day, and happy 209th, Mr. Edgar Allan Poe. Poe's 209th birthday bash is tomorrow, January 20th, noon to midnight at the Poe Museum on East Main Street in Richmond. Tickets $8, free for members, so join, and children under 6 also free. We'll put a link to all the details on our show website. Just go to WTVR.com/VTM. Thank you both for coming in. Good luck tomorrow with the birthday party. Plenty of cake for everybody.